Toji Fushiguro has become one of the more notorious mercenaries in fiction after all the shine he got in the JJK anime. Known as the Sorcerer Killer, even without curse energy or a curse technique, Toji makes up for that with insanely high physical prowess, as well as a bevy of cursed tools. He's kind of a deadbeat who will take up contracts for money. Usually he's hired for assassinations, hence his nickname. But what if you were tasked with retrieving an arcane item from another world? In the Clover Kingdom, the vast majority of the population inherits a 3-leaf clover grimoire when they turn 15. Very rarely, a lucky mage will be chosen by the 4-leaf clover grimoire. This spellbook embodies good fortune, literally granting luck powers to the wielder and significantly increasing the rate of their growth over time. Because of the rarity of this item, they demand a high price on the black market. In the first chapter of Black Clover, someone did try to steal Yuno's grimoire. This begs the question, can Toji successfully steal Yuno's grimoire? Basically, if Toji appeared in chapter 1, would he be strong enough, fast enough, resourceful enough to take the 4-leaf clover grimoire for himself and complete his bounty? In order to properly analyze the scenario, the proper win conditions need to be set up for Toji. How can he complete his successful bounty? What constitutes a win condition, or I guess actually achieving his bounty, if he steals Yuno's 4-leaf clover grimoire and keeps it intact, and can escape back into the JJK world via a portal placed somewhere off in Hajj? As I said, he cannot kill Yuno. That's an automatic failure, because if he kills Yuno, the grimoire is destroyed as well. But there can be some alternative scenarios that can play out that can still give Toji a successful bounty. If the proper situation arrives, Asta can go through his own awakening and receive his 5-leaf clover grimoire. If Toji accidentally kills Yuno and thus destroys the 4-leaf clover grimoire, if he defeats Asta and he takes the 5-leaf clover grimoire, that will not only act as a replacement for his bounty, but also increase his reward, as the 5th-leaf clover grimoire is far rarer than the 4th leaf and is much darker and even more arcane. Let's say in the scenario the 4-leaf clover grimoire is worth $1 million. Because it is more of a collector's item, nobody could really use it under natural means. It would take some serious experiments and tinkering from Kenjaku to be able to actually make use of it. Similar to how Morris could fuse grimoires together. The 5-leaf clover will be worth $2 million, giving Toji the possibility of exfilling with a life-changing $3 million. If Toji is also killed in action, he fails, or if he has to flee back into the JJK world, he also fails. So if he's knocked unconscious or somehow captured and taken to prison, that's also considered a loss. Toji will be told that he can return with the grimoire only, or with Yuno and the grimoire, but he completely fails the bounty if he does kill Yuno. So he's told that he cannot kill Yuno. So I'm going to start off with the actual scaling here, because that's going to be pretty important to determine if Toji can actually get out of this successfully. First, I'll start with the 3 characters that Toji will probably end up facing: Yuno, Asta, and Revchi from chapter 1. As with most Black Clover scaling, it's often downplayed because of the lack of knowledge most scalers have on the series. Of course, Asta and Yuno in chapter 1 are going to be significantly weaker from even just the 2nd or 3rd arc of the series, let alone the current arc. I know a lot of people are saying, like, how is Toji going to take Yuno's grimoire? Yuno can fight Lucius, the evil wizard king, but chapter 1 Yuno and current Yuno are completely different animals. And sure, if you just read the first chapter of Black Clover, there's not really a lot to go off of with how fast or strong these characters are. Yuno is axe level, but thankfully later chapters in the manga, extended anime scenes, and the light novel add a lot more context for early series scaling for the Black Clover characters. We don't see a lot of feats from Yuno, but we do know that he's at the very least scales to Asta in their bases before they got their grimoires, as they actually spent their entire lives training together and consider themselves rivals. And you can actually scale Asta's attack potency to Revchi, as in the extended scenes of the anime, Asta was actually able to resist the pull on Revchi's chains, and that was before he got his grimoire. And once Asta actually regained his confidence against Revchi, he did believe he could defeat Revchi just with his raw physicals. He didn't even know that the anti-magic grimoire existed yet. A lot of people claim Asta's statement to be ignorant or hyperbolic, but there is no real reason to assume this. Not only did Asta spend his life training against Yuno, a magic user, meaning he should be able to at least get a decent gauge of his own limits against a magically empowered foe, but also he spent his entire life training inside of a grand magic region. Grand magic regions are like magical national parks on cocaine and steroids. It's harder just to exist inside of them, and they are filled with magical beasts that you will come to face off against. Grand magic regions are strong enough to overpower established magic knights, forcing them to use a reinforcement technique called mana skin. Well, Asta could not only exist or train inside of these grand magic regions, but he did 1,000 one-arm handstand push-ups inside of this grand magic region, because it actually is stated that the demon skeleton is inside the border between the kingdoms, and that is a grand magic region. So that actually gives a pretty decent explainer of why is Asta so strong. Like, he just did one-arm handstand push-ups. No, it's because he trained in a grand magic region. So Revchi, he was an established magic knight, and Asta thought he could beat him, and he trained in a Grand Magic region, so he should scale to at least around a lower level Magic Knight. There's even more evidence for this that is in the light novel, and it actually implies that Asta did not get that much stronger from chapter 1 to chapter 2 in that 6-month time skip. He did get stronger, but he still actually struggled wielding the sword, meaning he didn't get that much stronger over that time. Chapter 2 Asta beats chapter 1 Asta, but he'd still be at least relative in stats. That's important because in the light novel, Asta is relative to Fonzel, who is a commander of the Diamond Army, which is the equivalent rank of a senior Clover Knight. And we can get a few ways to scale how strong an average Magic Knight should be. It is stated that a Magic Knight captain is worth 100 Magic Knights. Now this should mean, at the very least, on average, a single knight is at least 1% as powerful as a Magic Knight captain. If we go by a casual feat for William, his feat here of dispersing the clouds with his tree is worth several gigatons of TNT, or a large mountain level. That should make Revchi and thus Asta and Yuno 1% of that attack, which is around 12 megatons of TNT, or city level attack potency. Now this is the scaling for base Yuno and base Asta as well as Revchi, but getting a Grimoire does increase your magic power and spell potency, so if Yuno fights with his Grimoire, he'll be significantly above this power, just unquantifiably so. And same for Asta, anti-energy coated swords with power nullification are gonna hit a lot harder than his punches. But there are ways to get these three a lot stronger, but to me it seems kind of a stretch. You could say that because Fauna in the Witch's Forest arc is multi-continental, because her salamander vaporized an ocean according to the data book, but there isn't a clear backscale all the way back down to Revchi. Fauna in the Witch's Forest is significantly more powerful than she was when she fought the captains, as seen by the size of her salamander. And since we know the spirit grows alongside the user, Fauna could be easily dozens of times weaker during the cave fight against the captains. And these captains are all stronger than the beginning of series captains, because ever since the end of the Clover Capital assault, the captains vowed to train to become stronger to prevent further failure. So to say that Revchi is 1% of a captain who is relative to stronger captains, who is relative to Fauna, who is possibly dozens of times weaker than she was in the Witch's Forest, I think it is not concrete enough to properly use as a scaling chain for Asta. It seems a little too assumptuous for me. As for the abilities, Yuno possesses wind magic, but has not gained that many spells, because at this point in the series, he's only just got his Grimoire. He can still make basic wind spells and tornadoes, and could fly with it, but it's nothing really that crazy just yet. Asta has power nullification with the anti-magic. Revchi also has power nullification in a sense with his chains, as he seals away the magic of his victims, and he can also use attack or binding spells with his chains. When it comes to speed, it's actually pretty straightforward. Yuno is way faster than lightning mages, even though he wouldn't be that much stronger than his chapter 1 self, since he also has that same scaling chain to Asta. If Asta got stronger, but not that much stronger over that 6-month time save at the beginning of the series, same logic would follow for Yuno. But also, Selim is a lightning mage, yet he failed to make a single brigade. This should imply that base lightning speed really isn't that impressive for the Magic Knights, and since Revchi was a particularly famous one, and he would actually need to be fast enough to ensnare his opponents, Revchi should be lightning speed, which puts pretty much all three of them at massively hypersonic speeds, since lightning on average travels at hundreds of times the speed of sound. Toji in terms of power is a lot more impressive than you might think, and luckily it's a lot simpler to scale him because he actually fights in 2 major arcs. We don't need to delve into light novels to scale Toji. His fights against Gojo and the Disaster Cursed Dagon are more than enough, and then when he fights Megumi in the anime, that helps too. In Jujutsu Kaisen, domain expansions are formed by a user's cursed energy. Dagon, one of the weaker disaster curses, creates an island with a surrounding sea, as well as many clouds in the sky. There are calculations where using just the island or the visible sea, its large island level, when you take into account that Dagon is the personification of the fear of the sea, it would be weird to assume that he didn't just actually create a sea, which creating even the smallest sea in the world would actually equate to around 18 teratons of TNT, which is country level, because that's the energy level it requires to vaporize an ocean. Creating one would logically be even harder. I wouldn't be surprised if Toji's regular AP was at least low relative to his playful clouds attack potency, but still. Toji also has a bunch of other tools inside the storage curse spirit, that being the inverted spear of heaven, which is basically his own anti-magic sword, as it shuts off cursed techniques, and he can also use the flat of the blade like a shield, similar to what Asta does. But what might be his most important weapon is the split soul katana. It bypasses all physical durability and attacks the soul directly. It is durability negation by splitting the soul itself. So as you can see, Toji not only has a pretty good power advantage, but has some great items to take into the Clover Kingdom. But when it comes to his speed, it's really all over the place. Maki is stated to be as strong as Toji, but then got blitzed by Naoya, who is traveling at Mach 3. Maki's reaction timing would increase after that because she could actually see, but still, it's kind of crazy. Either way, we could say it's contradicted because Maki dodges a bullet that was calculated to be a Mach 27 feet here, and Toji blitzed her inside of Dagon's domain. Just keep in mind that was a much weaker version of Maki, one that is stated not to scale to Toji. Also in the anime, Toji actually reacted to lightning. This should give him at least relative speeds to lightning itself. Now, you could argue it's actually a lesser form of speed because he's basically dodging the lightning. We don't know how fast he was compared to it, but if you just look at the slow motion of the anime, it does show that it's actually pretty relative. But still, if nobles who are lightning mages cannot make the magic knights, that should mean that lightning magic really isn't that fast in Black Clover, and therefore lightning speed is not that fast if you're actually a very strong character. This does give a speed advantage to all 3 of the Clover characters here. We also know that Toji should have this advanced sight that Maki displayed when she fully awakened her power, where she can see souls, and that let her go from getting blitzed by Naoya to being able to actually fight and react to Naoya's movements, which would show that even if Asta and Yuno are faster than Toji, this soul sight is going to be more than enough for him to actually keep up with them in a battle. But also, keep in mind that Revchi, I'm scaling him with the Clover characters, but he's not going to be fighting with Asta and Yuno. It's going to be basically a Toji versus Revchi versus Asta and Yuno. How does it go? Can Toji steal the rare 4-leaf Clover Grimoire? Maybe the 5th leaf too. With Yuno leaving the Grimoire Tower happy with his 4-leaf Clover Grimoire, he is jumped by the notorious chain mage Revchi, who uses his magic to bind Yuno with chains and seal away his power, while nabbing Yuno's grimoire for himself. Before Revchi can finish mocking him, he sees that his chains have been destroyed. Toji, with the inverted Spear of Heaven, had sliced the chains on his way to launch an attack at the Magic Knight. Revchi launches more chains at Toji with Dance of the Pitless Viper, but Toji casually negates every single one with his anti-magic spear. Toji leans in and stabs the blade through Revchi, but Revchi laughs as he coughs up blood, as he notes that he was able to finally catch Toji in his chains. But to his own chagrin, he recognizes that somehow, Toji has 0 magic. Nothing. Not even a drop. Toji mocks Revchi as he breaks his chains and pierces through Revchi's face, and stealing Yuno's grimoire for himself. Just as he thought he completed his contract, he felt a cool breeze slowly forming behind him. The mage to whom the grimoire belonged to was readying a small tornado and launched it at Toji. At the same time, Asta lands from the tree next to Yuno's side and vows to help his brother get his grimoire back. Toji is shocked at the speed of the 2 young brats and is constantly on the defensive, though he easily nullifies or even swats away any of Yuno's wind spells. And whenever Asta lands a punch, he barely feels a tickle, but Asta dodges every time right before Toji's attack can graze him. Just when Toji thought he had the fellow powerless human in his grasp, Yuno tossed a wind spell toward Asta that knocked him out of the way, sparing him. Toji is finally starting to get annoyed. 2 little brats holding their own against him, and one of them doesn't even have magic or curse energy either. He's not having any of that. Toji realizes that as of right now, the inverted Spear of Heaven is useless, because all it does right now is shut off spells. But he recognizes that he's so much stronger than them that that's useless. He can just swat them away with his own hands. Instead, he opts for the Playful Cloud as it gives him the range and mobility that he needs to face off in a 2v1 against characters with speed as much as Asta and Yuno. Because of his massive skill advantage, Toji lands a devastating blow on Yuno and sends him flying back. With maintaining possession of the grimoire, he has his cursed tool devour it and begins to make a run for it. With his amazing sight and sensory abilities, notice something happening behind him. A grimoire has broken through the wall behind Asta and chosen him. Out of the grimoire drops a large black sword. Toji recognizes that for some reason this kid still has no magic or curse energy, so he goes back to investigate. He tests out Asta's new sword by smacking it with Playful Cloud, and notices that the sword is nullifying the curse energy within his own cursed tool. Toji smiles and realizes that he has found a way to up the ante. Either he can steal this boy's grimoire too and get a higher reward, or he can take the grimoire for himself and use the anti-magic energy to bestow into his other cursed tools. Just imagine for a second how broken Toji would be if he had the anti-magic grimoire. He would improve all of his cursed tools with anti-magic, and because it would be anti-magic and not cursed energy, nobody back in the JJK world could sense the items anymore. But this leads to a massive crossroads in this discussion: whether or not Toji keeps Asta alive or kills him. Remember that he's only been told that he must capture Yuno or keep him alive. He cannot kill him or he fails the contract. But Asta's not part of the bounty. He doesn't know that if he kills Asta, then he's gonna fail. Because you know what happens if Toji tries to kill Asta or knocks him unconscious while he has a grimoire? Libe takes over Asta's body. It is stated that if Asta is either knocked unconscious or dies, that Libe can take over his body. Libe is far too strong and far too fast for Toji to deal with. If you look at it, Libe fought pretty well against Asta in their binding ritual, even though he was holding back and likely nerfed. This version of Asta scales considerably above this Asta, who can punch and damage Raya with no anti-magic reinforcing him. We can scale this Raya to at least multi-continental for being around as strong as Fauna, whom her fire spirit can vaporize an ocean in a single strike. We also see Libe output more anti-magic than Asta's Black Divider that beat Zagrid. This is also true anti-magic power, which is far more potent than Asta's old regular anti-magic. Zagrid can easily be scaled to small planet level or higher because he scales above Reeve, who created a moon and glamour world. Libe would also be well above FTL, likely even hundreds to thousands of times the speed of light, because Asta's own speed when he fights him isn't a major issue, even though this version of Asta could keep up with light magic amped by Elven reincarnation, and then quadrupled in terms of power and speed. Asta blitzed Mereona's attacks, which were blitzing Raya, who's a light mage. You can even calc to show that Asta moved hundreds of times faster than Mereona's attack. But if Toji spares Asta, then he does escape back into JJK with an anti-magic grimoire as well, which I don't even want to begin to think what would have happened to Gojo if Toji had anti-magic. Imagine black form Toji squaring off against Gojo. Like, oh my gosh, that would be crazy. And we do know that Asta's grimoire can get stolen because it actually has happened in canon. You can't say that you can't steal it. We know it can happen. In these canon episodes, the group known as the Devil Believers do actually steal Asta's grimoire for a time. Let's not also forget there is a chance here that the 5-leaf clover grimoire chooses Toji. He has no magic or curse energy, which makes him a candidate because that's one of the requirements for being chosen. Then again though, it is implied that the 5-leaf clover grimoire chooses someone who has overcome despair, because the 5-leaf clover grimoires are referred to as grimoires of despair, and it only chose Asta after he overcame his despair in the main series. The only win condition for the Clover Kids is if they somehow last long enough for the captains to get involved, which is incredibly unlikely because they would be in the Forsaken Realm, which most knights ignore because they don't care as much about the peasants and the commoners. Also, Libe coming out at all is unlikely because Toji will have probably incapacitated or killed Asta before he could even earn the 5-leaf clover grimoire. But let's say that Toji does get the grimoire and actually defeats Asta. There is still one last line of defense to stop him when he's trying to escape, and that's Nero. Nero is really sacré, and her whole thing is to watch over Lick's grimoire and Lumiere's statue. If she noticed Toji attempting to flee, she would spring into action, and if she unsealed herself and went into human form, that would spell serious troubles for Toji, considering Sekre has at least FTL combat speed and has very powerful sealing magic. The issue is that she's not going to be able to unseal herself anyways. In order to turn back into human, she needs the magic stones to be placed in the statue, which she simply wouldn't have enough time to do in the scenario. Now, if you want to argue that Sekre as a bird would be strong enough to take down Toji, because the pecks of her beak can hurt versions of Asta that are stronger than Toji, then be my guest, but those always seemed like gags to me. But even if you want to argue that she's stronger than Toji, which I don't know what you're trying to do there, she has no good speed feats as a bird at this point in the series that I'm aware of. Watch, y'all are gonna find some random feat, and we're really all gonna have to envision Toji getting stopped by a fucking bird. But the only way for Sekre to have a chance of stopping Toji for real is if he grazes her with the inverted spear of heaven, because that would nullify her seal, making her human. But if he hits her with the split soul katana, she's done for. All in all, there are some wild conditions that we can come up with where Toji does not come out winning and he fails, but there are so much more win conditions for him here. Toji, in my opinion, could and likely would steal Yuno's grimoire if he were tasked with such a bounty, and it's actually pretty likely that he would come out with Asta's grimoire as well. So yeah, he's coming out with $1 to $3 million, or he's coming out with $1 million, and now he's got his own anti-magic grimoire. Another important thing to think about is if Toji is 1, far stronger than Asta and Yuno, 2, is at least relative to them in speed, and 3, has better abilities thanks to his various cursed tools, then this is a battle where skill is going to be incredibly important. While sure, characters like Asta and Yuno have spent years practicing and training at this point, in Chapter 1, the majority of their training is power-based, not things like skill, strategy, tactics, or even technique. Because Toji is a trained killer, his fighting technique is going to be a massive advantage here. Remember, this is Chapter 1 Asta. If he gets the sword, he barely knows how to use it, and has basically no sword skill. Another thing that could change the battle a lot more in Toji's favor is prep time. He used this against Gojo to have a plan that basically gave him the W in the first round. If he did the same thing to steal Yuno's grimoire, he probably takes it a lot easier than in the scenario I presented. Now, another thing to bring up with Toji's soul sight is that it lets you see the souls of things, even non-living things. And if you go by that, then there's a chance he could see that the grimoire that Asta has is connected to his soul, so he can't kill Asta, which would avert Liebe manifesting. But it's also hard to say because we've also seen people with 5-leaf clover grimoires die and their grimoires did not get destroyed, so it could work differently for 5-leaf clover users, but at least gives Toji a chance of actually realizing on his own that grimoires are bonded to the soul. But anyways, I thought that was a fun one. Hope you guys did enjoy this discussion. Yeah, Toji, he would pretty much wreck the chapter 1 Black Clover characters. It'd actually be kind of funny. But let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys do all have an amazing day. Join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Also, you can become a member, get access to more videos and my videos early as well. With that being said, peace out.